everybody and welcome to my January book haul. I bought 8 books in the month of January, which isn't a lot, but considering I'm like unemployed and still in school, I'm pretty proud of myself. I also pre-ordered heaps of books for the rest of the year, so currently I'm like riding on no money. The first book I have here is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, and this is the third and final book in the Grisha trilogy. I don't actually own the rest of the trilogy. I haven't read the rest of the trilogy. This book was on my wish list along with the rest of the trilogy, and it was $16. So I thought I may as well get it. And I don't regret that decision because it was either $16 or $26, so I bought it, but now I really need to buy the rest of the trilogy. The next book I have here is The Siren by Kara Cass, and this is a re-release of the book she originally self-published back in 2009, and this book follows a girl named Callan, and she is a siren. And sirens have to work for 100 years bringing down ships, and Callan only has 20 years left of her sentence when she meets Kinley, a boy in Florida, and she slowly falls in love with him. But falling in love with him means defying the ocean and defying things that she's always thought were good for her. I have actually already read this and I really enjoyed it. Link to my January wrap-up down below. The next book I have here is I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella, and this book, I've had my eye on it for a while, but I've only ever read one other Sophie Kinsella book, but hopefully this is good. Apparently it's like funny like chick lit, so I've really been looking forward to reading this. So this book follows a girl named Poppy, and when the fire alarm gets set off at her hotel, she loses her engagement ring, and not only that, her phone gets stolen. So the only thing she can do is sit there and stress when suddenly she finds another phone, and she starts giving that number to the hotel concierge and everyone who she's been asking, and suddenly that phone starts to ring, and it turns out that phone belongs to businessman Sam Roxton's assistant, and he would really like his phone back, thank you. The next book I have here is Losing It by Cora Carmack. I could never actually say her name, and that was the first time ever I could say her name the whole way through. This book follows a girl named Bliss, and she is a theatre major in college, and she's about to start her final year. The only thing that Bliss isn't very happy with is the fact that she still hasn't lost her virginity at 21 years old. So one night a plan gets kind of put into action between Bliss and her friend, and that is one night stand is going to make Bliss lose her virginity. So they go to a bar, and Bliss ends up picking up a guy who's reading Shakespeare in the corner, and she takes him home and they hit it off, but then she panics and she leaves him naked in her bed. And the next morning, she rocks up to her theatre class, and he's her teacher. Next book I have here is Cool Crown by Victoria Aveyard. This is the novella binder for the Red Queen series. I'm so used to saying trilogy because it's supposed to be a trilogy. But basically, in here are the 2 novellas that go along with the series, Queen Song and Steel Scars. Queen Song follows Queen Corianne, who is Cal's mother, and Steel Scars follows Farley, who is not at the head of the Red Rebellion, but one of the leaders in the Red Rebellion. The next not quite book I have is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, and I've been hearing so much good about this series, you have no idea. So even my maths teacher, the one who lent me the Violet Eden chapters, has been like aiming me to read this. She's like, come on George, it's really good, you need to read it. But all I know is that this follows 2 aliens, Alana and Marco, and they are on opposite sides of the war, and they fall in love and have a kid, and I'm pretty sure this comic is like narrated from the kid's point of view. So like, it's like the kid is like narrating it, like a grown-up version of the kid, I'm pretty sure, as like reflecting back on it. And I have read a little bit of this, but it was mainly like on the train, I'm bored, so I'll just read a page or two, and it seems really, really funny, and I cannot wait to read this. And I've got the second volume coming in February, so I can kind of have a tiny mini marathon. I'm trying to pace myself until like July when volume 6 comes out. So far I'm doing a good job. The next book I have is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, and this was a pre-order that I pre-ordered back in like August of last year, but this arrived on the 6th of January. I didn't read it until like the 12th because there is obviously something wrong with me, and I adored this book. I will talk about it more in the wrap-up, which I'm mentioning a lot, but this book basically follows a girl named Etta, and she is a violin protege, and one day she's about to perform when she hears screaming, and as she runs to find out where the screaming is kind of coming from, she gets thrust back through time. And there she meets Nicholas, a sea captain, and they slowly have to unravel mysteries left them, and this book has basically been described as a treasure hunt through time. I have read this. I love this. More in my wrap-up. And lastly, the final book is The Fixer by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Is that her name? Yes, I'm doing good at this. Basically, I'm not really sure what this is about, but I have been hearing very, very good things. All I do know is that it follows a girl named Tess, and her older sister uprooted her from like where she lived, and Tess is enrolled in the Hardwick Academy, which is where all of Washington DC's kind of elite children go, and Tess, like her sister, becomes a fixer, and that basically means cleaning up scandals and making them just disappear. I really, really cannot wait to read this because apparently it is so, so, so good. And oh my god, but I probably won't read this until like July or like June or whenever the next book comes out, because this is a duology, so the next book is gonna come out and I will read it around then, and I really can't wait to read this. Also, the cover's really pretty. I really like the cover and like the color scheme. I really like it. It looks really nice on my shelf. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a great day, afternoon, and I will hopefully have another video up soon.